On her trip back to the Tearmoon Empire, Mia read her blood-stained diary. Although the future had slightly improved, she still faced execution while some tragedies still happened. Mia noticed that the food shortages remain a major cause of revolution, along with tensions involving a minority tribe, the Lulus. She resolved to strengthen alliances and stockpile more food. Back in Tearmoon, Mia faced resistance from Ludwig and others about excessive food stockpiling due to the cost. However, Mia, knowing famine is inevitable, cleverly proposes a long-term food import plan by negotiating a fixed price wheat supplied with Marco Folklore, a merchant and father of her friend Chloe. Mia also intentionally frames the food deal as nepotism to make it more acceptable to selfish nobles. Winning their reluctant cooperation, both Marco and Ludwig come to admire Mia's seemingly profound political and economic foresight.
A week after closing the deal with Chloe's father, Mia visited the New Moon district to inspect the infamous slums of the imperial capital. The visit was a last-minute proposal of Mia, and under the direction of Ludwig, a 10-member guard platoon was dispatched hastily. Having been pulled from their regular duties without any prior warning, a couple of the newer guards were grumbling to each other under their breath as they gathered for their assignment. I swear, Her Highness can be a real pain in the rear sometimes. Like, seriously, the slums? That godforsaken place? Why does she want to go there of all places?
Yeah, there's nothing to see. Unless you want to watch crime happen, of course. Oh, I guess she wants to see the hospital that she built. In the end, it's just a popularity stunt. You have to give her some credit for pretending to give enough of a damn to actually bother. She's the great wisdom of the Empire, after all.
Considering the guards' heads might literally roll if something happens to the princess, it is not a surprise that they prefer for her to stay inside the castle where it is safer and quieter. It is easier to guard someone who does not actively look for trouble. These grumbles of the young knights soon reached the ears of a veteran guard knight who accompanied Mia on her first trip to the New Moon district.
You, rookies, better stop complaining and show the princess some respect. I know what you think of them nobles, and you're not wrong. But Her Highness is different. She's not like them. I won't allow any bout-mouthing of her under my watch. Got it?
The veteran guard turned and gazed off into the distance, remembering the first time he encountered the princess. In her, he saw the courage to step in without hesitation toward wherever duty led, even if it meant entering places where crime ran rampant. He saw in her the compassion to unconditionally help the children of the streets, running her hand through their dirty hair and picking them up despite their sullied clothes. And he saw in her the wisdom to build the hospital in a poor district that so desperately needed it. In other words, his opinion of Mia had suffered the same hyperinflation that Ludwig's had. Then, as if on cue, Mia arrived on the scene.
Good day, everyone. I very much appreciate your timely arrival on such a short notice.
Mia watched as the guards, who had been caught by surprise, rushed to arrange themselves and stand at attention. The sight of their orderly formation brought a warm smile to her lips. During the revolution, almost every last one of the Imperial Guards had stood with her until the bitter end. To this day, Mia remained rather fond of the Imperial Guards. She decided to reward them for their deeds in the previous timeline and in the hope of strengthening their bonds for this current timeline. With a smile, of course. Smiles were free, and while her motives were questionable, it was quite effective in raising the morale of the guards, especially the younger ones. After all, Mia is reasonably charming. She may not be a beauty icon for ages to come or anything, but between passable and good-looking, 3 out of 5 men would probably consider her the latter. Plus, her status as the princess of the Great Tearmoon Empire might serve to bias their evaluations in her favor. What's more, today Mia isn't wearing a fancy dress. Instead, she is wearing an active outfit, a blouse and a pair of shorts tailored for riding. This was a fresh surprise for those who believed that the nobles were always dressed in ostentatious dresses and jewelry. All these, added with Mia's smile, sent some of the young guards' hearts aflutter.
Well, let us then be on our way. Yes, Your Highness.
Mia left the castle with a somewhat excited group of the Imperial Guards.
Oh, has the atmosphere changed a little?
Immediately after entering New Moon, Mia noticed the change. She felt that the number of people passing by had decreased. She also noticed that the faces of people who were walking around were a little brighter. Above all, the stench that covered the entire town seemed to have waned, and the atmosphere seemed to be a bit more welcoming.
Because the hospital is in operation and food rations have doubled, there are reports that fewer people die in the streets. The people in this district are slowly regaining their vitality.
Survival was at the top of everyone's priority list in life, and when it was threatened, everything else, like hygiene for example, took a backseat. No one was going to bother with showering and laundry if they weren't sure they were going to live to see the next sunrise. Humans are a resilient lot. While poverty had stalled their other priorities, it had not erased them. Funnily enough, as soon as death stopped looming on the horizon, people immediately turned to the next things on the list, one of which was the cleanliness of their surroundings. At first, the cleaning of the town was voluntarily carried out by the staff dispatched to the hospital. Eventually, it spread among the residents. If it becomes even more beautiful, it would be one of the important districts of Lunatir, the imperial capital. Being part of the capital city, the possibilities of the use of the land is unlimited. Lunatir is a city full of people. There is always a problem with having enough housing. Ludwig noticed it and had built a new inn at the edge of New Moon District and staffed it with local residents. By creating job opportunities, money would start flowing into the area. This will in turn start new businesses and will energize the district financially. After hearing the information from Ludwig, Mia nodded in satisfaction.
I see. That's most pleasant to hear.
Oh, Your Highness! At that time, a voice could be heard from a distance. When Mia turned to see where it was coming from, she saw a little boy who had been playing with his friends and was now running towards her.
Hey kid, stop right there.
The guards tensed immediately, and a couple of them quickly flanked Mia, their hands on their sword hilts. Mia, though, regarded the boy with a curious frown.
Oh, it's you. You're the boy from that time.
Mia stopped the guards with a wave of her hand and looked at the boy. It was the boy that she saved last time from starving to death. Back then, he was all skin and bones, and he was barely breathing. Although he was still a little on the scrawny side, he had some meat on his frame. His skin had now a healthy look, and his eyes glowed with life.
Are you eating properly now?
Yeah, it's all thanks to you. He smiled, took something out of his pocket, and handed it to Mia.
What might this be?
A present, because you helped me last time. It was a white hairpin. Its surface has a faint prismatic luster that changed in color as she turned it in her hand.
How gracious of you. What is this?
It's a unicorn hairpin.
A unicorn? Oh my.
She held it up and stared at her hairpin, her eyes even wider than before. The way it glistened was indeed unlike anything she had ever seen before. The more she looked at it, the more it looked like it was made by carving out the horns of one of the mythical steeds. It's made from a tree that grows in my hometown. Where I grew up, we called it a unicorn hairpin.
Is it now? It is quite lovely.
Delighted by the pin's unique beauty, she happily pushed it into her hair. Then she turned to the boy and smiled. The boy's cheeks reddened, and he ran off without another word. It's a keepsake from his mother, you know? Mia turned to see the priest standing behind her. He was the only person who ran an orphanage around here.
Oh, Father, it's been a long time.
Mia politely curtsied and greeted him using the lower hem of her shorts in place of a dress. Come, this way, please. The priest led them into the church and into his room. The priest's room was still simple and empty, which also reflects the state of the church. Nothing has changed since her last visit. I'm very sorry that I can't offer you proper hospitality. You have been exceedingly generous in your support, and I'm very grateful, but we've been too busy to find time to fix this place. Upon looking around, the room was indeed unchanged. However, she remembered seeing a number of repairs that had been done to the walls and the ceilings. Even if it is still bare, the church is in better condition and they won't be bothered by drafts.
It is very admirable for him to leave his room for last.
Not all people working in poor areas are of astounding character. There are people that are pretending to help while enriching themselves. Mia was impressed by the priest's attitude, which did not change even with the financial assistance arranged by Ludwig. Mia's admiration of him started to skyrocket before it plummeted with the next conversation. By the way, I heard that your highness became friends with the saint.
The saint? Oh, you mean Rafina-sama? Yes, we have become friends. Not of my own choice. She's just scary.
Although Mia might be thinking this way, Rafina actually likes her. In fact, she has been sending Mia letters since summer break started. Mia did not have much of a choice but to reply to her letters.
Writing back to her is so stressful. If I write anything bad, it might make her hate me. And that would be a complete disaster.
Really? Goodness gracious, so the rumors were true. For someone who belongs to the Central Orthodox Church, like him, Rufina is up there above the clouds. Hearing that Mia was friends with such a lofty icon of the church was understandably exciting, but something didn't feel right.
Is it just me or is he fangirling?
Mia remembered what happened when she visited a big theater before. At that time, a popular actress was surrounded by lots of fans, and it seems like the priest's behavior is... if it is not much trouble, Your Highness, will you ask her for a signature the next time you see her?
I was damn right! The priest is fangirling!
The priest handed her a portrait of Rufina, which she accepted, trying very hard to hide her face of utter disgust. Then he told her detailed autograph instructions, such as, I would be very happy if you could include my name, if possible. By the way, the portrait seems to have been made in large quantities when Rufina was born in the Holy Principality of Beluga. Mia could almost imagine the Duke calling in a bunch of artists and having them all draw portraits of his newborn daughter before gleefully handing them out to anyone and everyone who cared to receive them. After all, she was no stranger to overly affectionate fathers, and the Duke's behavior was suspiciously reminiscent of how the Emperor behaved around her.
Rafina-sama also has it hard, huh?
Mia felt sympathy for Rufina. Well, just a little. Mia then turned back her attention to the priest, to whom she has lost all respect for, and pulled their conversation back from its delightful digression.
Now, Father, I believe you were saying something about this hairpin? It was a keepsake?
Oh yeah, that's right. Mia just caught him on time. The priest seemed in the verge of launching into passionate speech about why Rufina was the best and why everyone should love her. Fortunately, he switched back to being the humble director of the orphanage. It seems that the child's mother is from a small tribe living in a forest area on the outskirts of the empire. But she had a relationship with a man from another tribe and gave birth to that child. This led to a fight with her parents. They ran away and came here to the capital with the baby. Unfortunately, the child's parents got sick, and they died when he was still young. The moment Mia heard the words, a minority tribe in the outskirts of the empire, an unpleasant chill ran down her spine. The words in the diary entered her mind. Mia's instinct was telling her that she was standing knee-deep into a danger zone leading to her grave.
Well, would that tribe happen to be the Lulu tribe?
My goodness, as expected, Your Highness was already aware of it. It's not a surprise that you already know, since you are friends with Saint Rufina. In the eyes of the priest, Mia was elevated, but although he admires her, it seems that he won't be joining the Mia fan club anytime soon. He's a true Rufina fanatic after all. That aside,
If it's such an important thing, I can't accept it.
Mia exaggerated her tone to the point that she did not know about this beforehand. She looked at the beautiful hairpin. It seems to be bewitching her to her bad ending. It was best to return this back as soon as possible. Oh no, please take it, Your Highness. Ever since Your Highness brought him here, he has been wanting to repay your kindness. That hairpin is a heartfelt gift from him.
Well, now duh. It's his mother keepsake, for the love of the moon. You don't have to spell it out for me.
So please, Your Highness, I ask that you hold on to it. It may be a simple item of little worth to you, but if at all possible, please don't throw it away.
Don't be ridiculous. Of course I won't throw it away. I'll make sure to take perfect care of it.
And if I might be so bold, could I ask you to wear it when you visit us here, even if only sometimes?
I'll wear it every day.
With her escape route cut off, she might as well just charge forward. She will treasure this hairpin if it means building a good relationship with that boy, and she'll make sure that it will be very obvious as she treasures it. She'll wear it every day, and even wear it sleeping if that means building affection with that boy. Mia may not be sure how the boy is connected to her future past events, but she is sure that the boy plays a critical role. So she might as well take advantage of the situation.
Will you please let him know that I am very, very happy with this present and that I will cherish it very much?
I will definitely tell him, Your Highness. He will surely be happy to hear that you liked it. Little did Mia know, however, that her actions that day would have significant consequences for events down the line. There is a jewelry box called Princess Mia's Cursed Jewel Casket. It is covered and decorated with lavish gems and rare jewels. The box is also ornate with beautiful, painstaking artistry. It was an item of great monetary and artistic value. It was also known as a cursed box that invited many of its owners to ruin. The original owner was no mystery. It's in the name after all. Ask anyone about the cursed jewel casket, and they'll tell you it first belonged to the notorious Guillotine princess Mia Luna Tearmoon. Ask who made it, and the answers will begin to differ. The box had been commissioned by Viscount Berman, a noble whose territory was next to the territory of the Rodolphins. Hardly anybody knew about Viscount Berman, and even fewer were those who knew that it was his actions that caused the Empire's downfall.
Viscount Berman, it is as expected. Count Rudolph did not agree to the request.
Don't call him a count. Put out when calling him. He is just an out count. Blasted country noble. The cause of this irritation was, in fact, a truly petty matter that started with this.
Speaking of which, Lord Berman, I can't understand why a man of culture such as yourself, who hails from a long and honorable line of central nobility, would rule over a smaller territory compared to that country bumpkin man, Outcount Rudolph.
Although the territory of that outcount is larger, most of it is agricultural land or forest area. Hardly anything to be proud about.
True, but if it was me, I would not want to be upped by an outcount in any way. But if the thought does not vex you, then it doesn't matter, I guess.
Berman was about to argue, but he realized that the nobleman had a point. The thought of him being lesser than a country bumpkin, in a way, did indeed sting his pride.
If I might offer a word of advice, my lord, all you actually have to do is to clear out some land for yourself in the Salens Forest.
The Salens Forest, you say? Salens Forest was a large forest area that was between the territory of Viscount Berman and Count Rodovan. There was no line to mark the boundary between the two territories. It is just generally agreed that where the Salens Forest ended on both sides, that was the boundary. I see. If I clear up the forest from my side, then I expand my territory by a large amount. Since Salens Forest is considered not to be owned by any noble, clearing it from one side would mean being able to expand the territory. While this might be a selfish and ridiculous idea, it is not really an uncommon train of thought for a central noble. Furthermore, Viscount Berman was no procrastinator. Once he made up his mind, he immediately began to act, but there was a problem. The forest was not a vacant stretch of wilderness, people lived there. The Lulu tribe who inhabited the region fiercely opposed the plan to cut down the forest, adopting a do-or-die stance and making it clear that they intended to resist until the bitter end. Insolent lowlives. The Viscount immediately brought this issue to the Black Moon Ministry, which is in charge of the military affairs. As a result of his commitment to bribery, a censura was immediately dispatched to the area for him. Yet, to his dismay, upon arriving at the scene, the centurion who commanded the unit declared that they were not going to take any military action against the Lulu tribe.
I was given the mission to keep the peace in the area. Nothing more, nothing less.
They were not instructed, after all, to start a battle against the Lulu tribe. So they camped just outside the forest and did not enter the forest to fight the Lulus. Useless! You're all useless! No one listens to me. This setback did not stop him from trying to get his way, though. The frustrated Viscount thought of a scheme to overcome the situation, and it was with a gift, a present to the Emperor's beloved daughter. The strategy: craft an exquisite jewelry casket and use the very rare real wood that can only be found in the Salence forest that he wanted to clear. The catch was that he was going to adorn a section of the casket with the wood of the unicorn horn tree, as small carving would suffice as long as it caught her attention. Then he would say, "If your highness wants, I can make as many as you'd like, but to do that, I need to get the wood from a certain forest. Then with the backing of Mia, the Imperial army will move and it will be easy to annihilate the Lulu tribe." At the same time, the Viscount was thinking of another plan. He was going to kidnap the children of the Lulu tribe and sell them to slavers. He will then show it as the work of the Imperial soldiers. The Lulus will be outraged and will surely actively attack the army. If that happens, then a battle will break out, and surely the Lulu tribe will be wiped out. That means he wouldn't have to wait for the completion of the jewelry box. His second-rate master plan would ultimately be unnecessary, because one day, some gossip reached his ears.
Recently, Her Imperial Highness has been a big fan of unicorn horn hair ornaments. She even wears a unicorn horn pin every day.
Assuming this was true, then he did not have to make any jewelry box. Unicorn's horn grew right in the Salence forest. If a hairpin was enough to make the princess happy, then he can commission one. It is obviously cheaper and faster to make compared to a jewelry box. Thus, unbeknownst to Mia, she stood at the brink of history, the dice of fate in her hand, yet uncast. They continued to roll quietly on her palm, their very spin putting them closer to its edge. Then, with the arrival of a guest, they fell.
Mia-sama, Viscount Berman has requested an audience. Oh, who might that be? I believe it's a name I haven't heard before.
Destiny is about to appear in front of Mia in the form of a visitor. Mia had not yet realized that she was standing right before the turning point of her destiny.
Greetings. I suppose it's the first time we have met, Viscount Berman?
Holy moons, she is... Berman was fascinated by Princess Mia, who appeared before him. He was awestruck by her beauty and couldn't look away. Well, Mia has been especially gorgeous recently. While previous descriptions of her would have been something to the effect of, if I had to choose between pretty and not pretty, then I'd guess I'd go with pretty. The current Mia was quite a different beast. Right now, she looked better than ever. The biggest contributor to a newfound luster was not her radiant pearly skin, of course, that certainly didn't hurt, and was even more polished by Anne's diligent care. It was her beautiful hair that made Mia practically glow even more. It's as beautiful as the coast of the finest warhorse that runs through the battlefield. The secret to Mia's beautiful hair that fascinated Berman was all thanks to the shampoo that Prince Abel sent as a present.
Not only does it clean, but it also has a reputation for nourishing hair, improving its luster. I think you might be tired of getting regular gifts, so I went with something different. Hopefully you will love it.
Mia was very pleased with the present that came with the letter. In fact, she was overjoyed that she uses it every day. While humming a song, Mia was looking forward to the bath every day and smiled as she watched her fondly.
As expected of Prince Abel, it's a great gift.
What Prince Abel forgot to mention is that actually, the shampoo is for horses. Being with Mia in the equestrian club, he knew how much Mia loved horses. And so, he sent her a horse shampoo to use on her beloved steed. Horses have more delicate hair than human hair and required premium products to maintain. Mia, however, used it on herself, so it is not a surprise that Mia's hair is now smooth, shiny, and glowing. Her hair is the best in the Empire on both humans and horses alike. The popularity of horse shampoo would later lead to an unexpected boom in the Empire, but that's a story for another time. I see. This is why people are quick to call her the wisdom of the Empire. Her beauty is totally unmatched. Berman judged Mia's recent reputation to be because of her appearance. The people praising her wisdom and saintliness were probably idiots who just got swayed by beauty. After all, she is nothing more than a selfish little girl. As evidence, he had proof. In fact, as he had heard that Princess Mia had given favor to her friend's father the other day. Certainly, the fact that the nobles give advantage to their fellow peers is normal, but it was different for a noble by name only. It seems to only show Mia's selfishness. This meant well for him. If he can present an item that she likes, then she might behave exactly as he intended her to be. She is a princess, and she must love receiving gifts, especially an item that she has developed a particular liking for lately. With such conviction, Berman prepared to take out the present. Recently, I've heard that Her Highness is quite fond of an ornament made of unicorn's horn. While saying this, his gaze went to Mia's hair. She was certainly wearing a hairpin that was made out of a unicorn's horn. For just a piece of wood, it actually looks beautiful. I suppose it depends on the one wearing it. While he observed the hairpin, Berman failed to notice that Mia's eyes were narrowing as soon as he mentioned her hairpin.
Well, I suppose I've been wearing this hairpin a lot these last few days.
Have you now? In that case, please take a look at this. Berman produced a hairpin and presented it to Mia. It had been made by craftsmen in a design that was flashy and gaudy, which was meant to appeal to children.
Oh my! You have my attention now.
I see. Well, as a matter of fact, this hairpin is made from a certain tree at the
Ceylon's forest, right?
Yes, and if your highness happens to be interested, then please...
Yes, I'm very interested. In fact, I'll go directly and take a closer look at this forest myself.
Huh? Oh, that, Your Highness, there's no need for you to...
Ludwig, make the necessary arrangements. I wish to depart immediately.
Immediately? But... Then that meant he wouldn't have time to hide things that he could not afford to have seen. Okay, calm down. This kind of thing should not be possible. Traveling takes preparation, she just can't. He shot a desperate glare at the young civilian in glasses, standing beside Princess Mia.
I swear, Your Highness, the things you ask for sometimes. It will be done as you wish.
Berman's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. He stood there stunned with his mouth almost hitting the floor.
My. Didn't you know? They call me the selfish princess.
This is it for this video. We will continue with the story of the Guillotine Princess in the next episode. It was Marco and Brian from Jobless Weeks. Matane!